Hello, it is me, Connor Small, formerly known as Cheesecake, formerly known as Connor Small. I'm going to stick to Connor Small. Today I'm playing one of my favorite games I've ever played. It's called Hearts of Iron 4. It's about the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and international politics. And you might be thinking to yourself, whoa, international politics? It's kind of boring for today. There hasn't been a world war since the 1940s. Well, this game developer Paradox Interactive has already thought of that by making it about World War II. This game, you can spend hours and hours in it. Me personally, I have over 1,000 hours, so I know a little bit about the video game. Now, you may be thinking, what is he doing with Hearts of Iron 4? Hasn't every YouTuber that can beat this game to death? Well, I understand that. I'm not going to be doing a mod review. I'm not going to be doing any wacky things with the AI. No. I'm going to do something that I didn't think was done enough. I'm going to make a video showing new people, January of 2020, how to play a game that came out 4 years ago. I am not going to be showing you very in-depth things, uh, you know, such as AI manipulations, super historical rules that you'll have to play in servers or anything like that. Nay. I'm going to show you more than bare bones, but less than super specific. It's going to be in that medium zone, where most players are after about 100 hours. So let's just jump into it. We're going to be giving general information, but I will also be giving specific information. The country I'll be playing today is the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is my favorite country to play. Why? I don't know. It's I really don't know. I just like to play it. Maybe it's just the historical significance of the United Kingdom throughout history that I really enjoy. I just like the history of it. Maybe it's because I want to kill myself, and the most fun way of doing that is by playing Hearts of Iron 4 is the United Kingdom. I don't know. I don't enjoy Germany. I don't enjoy France. Sometimes I enjoy the United States. Japan is pretty fun, but the United Kingdom is my favorite. So let's just jump on into it. I'm not going to put on Iron Man mode, not because I want to cheat, but because I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to be able to tag over to other countries. I'm not going to cheat, I promise. Pinky promise. Also, one more thing before we start. This is going to be also useful for people who want to start trying multiplayer, but aren't too confident yet. I am going to be showing a little bit of things, oh, well, if you're going to do this in single player, you're not going to want to do this in multiplayer, vice versa, stuff like that. But at the same time, the AI, it's not terrible, but it's not all that good. The AI is just kind of in the middle, kind of like this video is about to be. So I'm just going to wing it. And I could have put, the good, what's the expert AI mod? I could have put the expert AI mod on. But at the same time, I'd have to relaunch the game, and I'm not that dedicated. So without any more intro, let's jump to it. All right, first things first, the setup. Now I'm going to be playing in historical United Kingdom, but before we take any of the political trees, the first national focus I'm going to want to take is the limited rearmament. Why? Because it gives you 4 civilian factories. Civilian factories are very, very good. We're going to go into research. We're going to take the construction 1 because it boosts our construction speed. We're going to take basic machine tools because it allows us to build more guns. We're going to take engineering and mechanical computing because it increases the research speed and also allows us to get decryption later on and encryption. And finally, we're going to take the hurricane. Now, well, before we get to that, let me show you more of setting up. So we have the research, we have the focus. Let's talk about factories. Factories are very important. Civilian factories. Civilian factories you build with other civilian factories to make more factories, to build other civilian factories. Then eventually you use those civilian factories that you built with your previous civilian factories to make military factories and naval dockyards. I don't like that they're not called naval factories. You're going to want to build all of these things, but you're going to want to build civilian factories until about 1938. Sometimes mid-37, but meta players will tell you 1938. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build them to 38. So we're going to get them in the highest infrastructure zones. Now you may be asking yourself, why? Well, infrastructure increases building speed. And you're going to want those civilian factories as fast as possible. ASAP. That's not ASAP. That's as soon as... Alright, anyways. So you're going to want in the highest construction zones. And that's what I'd do about there. By there, it's getting around 1938 by the time it gets to that one. I'm pretty sure. Now we're going to go to factories. At first, so I don't have the Fighter 1 yet. I don't really start building, planes until I get to Fighter 1. So we're just going to remove that, or remove that. And you know what? In fact, we're just going to move the whole thing. Shift-click on that. We're going to remove all of that. Now you may be saying to yourself, well, dude, they were about to build ships. None of those ships are really important. Those ships aren't very good. It's just a waste of steel. So we're going to build some guns right now. Trust me, this production line is going to change for all those meta players who are watching. Like, this guy doesn't even know what he's doing. Before you start using your fat, sweaty fingers, well, first you're going to want to wipe off the Cheeto dust off of your keyboard, because I know you already started typing. But trust me when I say this, the production line is going to change. Okay? I know what I'm talking about. We're going to get that. We're going to get one of these. We're going to get one of these. And we're going to get one of these. I don't know if you can hear me over the production noise. I hope you can. And like I said, we're not going to start building planes until Fighter 1s. Now, I like to fill up my carriers, and I like to build close air support in single player. In multiplayer, you're going to want to only focus on planes. Remember that. If you're new to multiplayer, don't know this already. If you're the United Kingdom, only build fighter planes. Don't worry about naval bombers. Don't worry about close air support. Don't worry about only build fighters. But since this is single player, I'm going to build more than just fighters. I'm going to build a carrier naval bomber, so that way when they get in the naval battles, I can bomb other people's carriers and battleships and whatever. And I'm going to start building some close air support. Now for the Navy, I don't really have anything good yet, because I need to train my Navy for Naval XP. We'll talk about that later. So right now, I'm just going to build some convoys. We're going to need those very, very much. Let's build some more convoys, and that's max. So we have 2 extra ones. I'm going to let's put 2 more in artillery. Take some off of guns when it needs. Alright. The next thing I'm going to be showing you is something called 1 division training. So what you're going to want to do is take all of your divisions and put them into a single army. Like so. I used to always hear this all the time. You're going to want a 1 division train. You're going to want a 1 division train. It took me a very long time to figure out what 1 division training is. Mainly because I'm retarded. We're going to take all of these divisions, put them in 1 army. The United Kingdom has 36 divisions. It's a shame that I know the exact amount of divisions they had. Well, not in real life. I don't know how many divisions they had in real life. But I do know how many they have in this video game that's set in 1936. They have 36 divisions. And 1 in Hong Kong. I'm sure there's a more efficient way to do this that I'm going to get grilled on. But that's how I select them. And you disband 35, but you don't disband all of them. You only disband 35. Leaving you with 1 division. Ready, sir. Then you start training it. Use Army XP to build better things, to make better divisions, all that other stuff. We'll get more into that later. So, right now we're just going to start training this division for Army experience. Last thing we're going to do for our setup is go to the Navy. Now, we're going to put all of them into 1 fleet, like this. I used to do this the wrong way. I'd select each individual thing like that and put it in that. That's dumb. There's a select all button. I'm probably just going to confuse you by saying what I used to do, so just don't listen. You see what I'm doing right here? Do it. Hit select all, right click. It's that simple. Once again, we're doing that again. Bang, 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 bang. Easy as pie. So I think that will be it for our setup. Oh, well, before I just start playing the video game, make sure you're training the Navy. You're going to train it for Naval XP. You use Naval XP to... Oh, also, let's go ahead and talk about XP. Army XP, you can do a lot of things with. First off, you can build better divisions. We'll talk about the ideal division a little bit later, but you can use it to make better divisions. You can also use it to upgrade tanks, like this. So your tank menu, you hit create variant, and you can up armor, reliability, engine, gun, main, all that stuff. You use naval XP to design ships. We'll get into that a little bit later when we actually have some naval XP. Right now, all you need to know is you need a lot of naval XP. One more thing with Army, Naval, and Air XP. With all of those, you can enhance your doctrine. Not enhance, but you can speed up your research on that doctrine. Finally, with Air XP, you can do the same, except you can upgrade planes. So that'll be it for our setup. I'll see you in a little bit. Oh, I almost forgot one very fundamental thing. These. I almost forgot. Good thing I didn't. Political power allows you to make decisions. Like these. It also allows you to change your laws. Now, what are your laws? Well, this allows you... So, your economy law. That basically means how many civilian factories can you use. You're going to want it to be around war economy. Total mobilization, it takes away your recruitable population, but it opens up more factories. And then you got to make more decisions. I usually just stick to war economy. You can't even go to total mobilization as a democratic country. Next up, we're going to look at the trade law. Almost said economy law again. Trade law is... Some people say you're going to want to be in free trade. Some say export focus. I stay on export focus personally. A lot of people say free trade the meta. Meta is most efficient, tactical advantage, something like that. Why I don't go on free trade is because I get rid of all of my resources. So I like to stay on exports focus. That way I can keep some of my resources, but also have some of that construction bonus. The more resources you put to market, as you can see, the more construction speed you have. If you're a closed economy, you don't get any of those buffs, but you get to keep all of your resources. This is your conscription law. Your conscription law tells you how much manpower you have. Right there. On volunteer only, I have 481,000 manpower. These are some of your political advisors. They give you buffs to different things. You'll just have to explore them on your own. And these are your research and productions. These give you boost on what things you need to research. And these are your military chiefs. You have Chief of Army, Chief of Navy, Chief of Air Force. They give you buffs to your Army, Navy, and Air Force. And these do the same. They're military high command. They don't give as great as buffs, but it's still pretty good. So now I'm going to see you later. King George died. My. The greatest king to ever live, King George V, has passed away. His son, King George not King George VI yet. We're talking about King Edward VII. He is going to become king. Let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and take a moment to discuss events and decisions. I keep forgetting things to talk about, but I just remembered this. Now, if you're going to be in multiplayer, this does not matter. In single player, if you're on historical focus, this does not matter. It's pretty much just a waste of political power. Don't ever do this. The Germans are always going to want to invade the Dutch. They don't want to be friends with the Dutch unless it's some ahistorical game, and it's just stupid. Don't worry about this. This is the naval treaties. Naval treaties limit the amount of ships you can build because the democratic countries thought, boy, oh boy, I sure do like not being able to go to war. How about we make our navies really, really bad, and if we leave this naval treaty, people with bad navies will declare war on us. That's what's going to happen. So that's what they did. It's a terrible treaty. You're going to want to get rid of it. The only way to get rid of it is when it doesn't really happen like that. When other people leave, you can build better ships, but they're still pretty terrible. By the time World War II happens, they're like, you know what? Naval treaties were a stupid idea. You know, we never predicted that another war would happen. So, sorry, but the United Kingdom has to deal with naval treaties. This is for whenever Japan invades China. We'll worry about that later. All right. This is political actions. Never click these, honestly. I never really mess with give refuge to German scientists, mainly because it takes away some of my stability. I like having stability. Anti-fascist raids, anti-communist raids. Don't worry about that stuff. These are all pretty useless. Don't. These are all useless. Don't worry about them. I'm pointing my fingers at them, but I realize I don't have a webcam on. So not have. You have to use my mouse. This is prospect for resources. I don't really see the point in this, mainly because we're gonna get rubber from somewhere else. We don't need to build rubber. We don't really need tungsten. Maybe we'll need steel later on. I always forget to do these. Finally, we have nation building and this stuff. Once again, don't ever click these. It's really just a waste of political power. No point. Political power. I mean, once you have all your economy laws and everything, maybe you can start clicking those. Just well, definitely not these, but maybe definitely not these. But maybe you can do some of the prospect for resources stuff. But other than that, I really wouldn't worry with it until you've completed everything you want in here. I think I already talked about this stuff. Last thing I didn't talk about. Oh, well, last two things. Command power is just so that way you can upgrade your generals. Army, soldiers, boats, airplanes, generals. This is the fuel. This is very, 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 very important. Fuel, as we all know, makes cars go. It makes ships go. It makes planes go. All of those things require fuel. As the United Kingdom, we don't have much fuel. But that's okay. We have the United States. We're going to end up buying oil off of these guys. We will ask them for... Let's see, where is it? Anyways, oh, no, it's not license production. It's Lend-Lease. Lend-Leases. We will ask for oil. But anyways, you can get oil off of these guys. If you look at the resource mode, I mean, they have 512 oil in the state of Texas alone. We don't have 512 oil in the entire empire. So, but it's okay. We'll buy the oil off the Americans. So, honestly, all I would do is do these if you want to get better fuel efficiency. We'll talk about this later, but you're gonna want to research these a little bit more, so that way when you buy oil, you can actually use it instead of just being, using just a little bit because you didn't upgrade your research. Now let's get back into playing the game. Alright, our first focus is complete, and Germany's first focus is complete. Typically, the Germans' first focus is to remilitarize the Rhineland. After World War I, the French said, okay, you know what? We went to war with the Germans. Wasn't that fun? How do we punish them and make sure that we never go to war with them again? We make sure they can't put troops on our border. That's we don't need to, worry about defending our country if they can't have an army anywhere near us, right? So that's what they did. They made the Germans demilitarize the Rhineland. But the Germans are like, you're not going to tell us not to put troops in our country. So they just remilitarized it, bringing the world tension up to 5%. This allows me to not take the shadow scheme, but it's pretty good. Once it gets to 6%, I can take the shadow scheme. A big thing, and let me tell you why that's important. A big thing about the British trade, democratic countries in general, we need more world tension to mobilize our countries. Because, if there's no world tension, there's no threat, why are our people going to want to constantly, be ready for war? So, it's whatever. They're going to want to keep the civilian factories. We're not going to be able to use civilian factories to build military factories as much as we would if there was a bunch of world tension and people were like, defend us, defend us. Like, okay. But, so we need that world tension to get a better war economy going. So, we need more world tension is basically what I'm saying. And the more world tension we get, the better focuses we can take. Can't believe I forgot to mention that to you. This is going to be a very, very, very good beginner video. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, something really, really bad, but also really, really good just happened. The Spanish Civil War. Now, the Spanish Civil War is a very, very, very good thing for the United Kingdom. You might be wondering why. Well, there's a couple reasons. So as you can see, I've been saving my political power. Let's talk about the first reason. First reason is attaches. Now, if you don't know what attache is, it's basically where you send over some, guys who teach the Spanish how to fight, and you get army experience from the Spanish. Now, in order to have an attache, first off, you have to have, decent relations with the Spanish, but you also have to have 100 political power and 50 command power. So we're going to save that up. And whenever we get it, we're going to send an attaché to the Spanish. Now, you might be saying, okay, well, we have Army XP, but is it really worth 100 political power and 50 command power? Yes, because it increases our war support. War support kind of coincides with world tension, but world tension isn't important unless your war support is important. Unless your war support goes up. If world tension Anyways, war support allows you to change your mobilization models. While war support doesn't affect your national focuses necessarily, and world tension does not affect your economy laws. This does. You need to get up that war support. And an attaché will also bring up your war support. That way you can get from civilian economy to partial mobilization. So that's what we're going to be doing. Also, another thing just happened. Italy just invaded Ethiopia and won. So that also boosted up the world attention to 7. I'm going to finish this focus, steady as she goes, and then we're going to take the limited rearmament thing. Yeah, Shadow Scheme. We're also going to take the Shadow Scheme. Let's move on. So we just finished Steady as she goes, and now we're going to take the Shadow Scheme focus. We're getting closer to that 50 command power. Once we get it, we're going to send that attaché. So as you can see, we've built up 11 army experience. We can go ahead and start upgrading our division. Now, you might be thinking, why would you want to, only upgrade it a little bit at a time and not, just save up a bunch of army experience and then upgrade it all at once? Makes sense, right? Wrong. The bigger your division is, the more army experience you get. So it's a good thing to have a big division. So I'm going to upgrade it now. That way I can get more army experience in the future. We're going to do that. We're going to do that again. And we're going to talk more about army divisions in a little bit. Right now we're just going to need big divisions. Also, for you sweaty meta players, Navy experience. I'm not upgrading my ships yet. There's nothing to upgrade. I'm gonna research these. I'm gonna research some more of this, and then I'll start using my naval experience points. So, Cheeto finger guys, once again, wipe your keyboard down, erase your comment that you were about to type in, like, he isn't using his naval experience. I'm going to when I have better technology. See you in a bit. So, our first research thing is done, and let's move out of Spain because all I can hear is bullets. Okay, so our first research thing is done. We're going to research more things. Now, as the United Kingdom, you're going to want to take concentrated industry. Why are you going to want to take concentrated industry? Because you do not get invaded as the United Kingdom. Okay, if you're smart, you will not get navally invaded. And if the Germans are smart, they're not going to navally invade you. Right? If they know you're a good player and they try to navally invade you, all is going to happen is they're going to lose divisions. They're just going to be weaker for Barbarossa. They won't invade you if they think you're good. So, concentrated industry is what you're going to want to do. It increases the max factories in state. Both of these industry things. The more you research, the more factories you can put in a state. But it also gives you 15% factory output and 10% dockyard output. Now, you may look at dispersed industry and think, whoa, look at all that green, dog. That's so much green. Okay, most of those aren't really that important if you're a good United Kingdom player. And I'm going to show you how to be a good United Kingdom player. Once again, same max factories in the state, It has good production efficiency retention. Those are good. But 10% factory output versus 15, I know which one I'm gonna take. Two research things just got researched. We have plane. It's called the Harker Hurricane, and we also have construction. So here's what we're gonna do. Since we have the plane, I'm also gonna research the Sea Gladiator. You're not gonna. I always hear you're not gonna want to use carriers for multiplayer. I don't build carriers, but a lot of nations, well, some nations start out with carriers, and I like to at least fill them up. So I'm going to build, a couple of carrier fighters, not that many. They're not that important. Mainly, carrier naval bombers are very important. Uh, so I'm going to build those. I'm going to research those, and then I'm going to build them. And we also have construction one done. I'm going to start researching. Ooh, I'm going to research improved machine. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to go with improved machine tools. And then the next industry thing that's researched, I'm going to get construction 2. King Edward has abdicated. If you don't know the story, I'm not going to explain it to you. Research it. It takes too much time. Basically, wanted to marry a woman. The United Kingdom said, oh, everyone said, no, you can't marry her. So he left. Now his brother's in charge. We get more stability. Let's go. The Germans dominate Dutch trade negotiations. If you remember from earlier, it doesn't matter whatsoever. Also, before I go again, high stability is a good thing. It's a very, very good thing. Make sure you keep it up there. The shadow scheme has just ended. Well, we just researched it. Now, we could do industrial effort, go down here, or we could do something a little different. Now, by or, I mean we are going to do something different. We're going to go for home defense. Gives us base war support 5%, and then we're going to go down to prepare for the inevitable. Unless a spike in world tension happens, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do home defense next. I'm a noob. I completely forgot to start changing up my production lines now that I have Fighter 1s. We're going to do that. Cheeto Finger MLG players, you got me. I messed up. Okay? Please stop typing to me now. Please stop typing. Please don't hit send. Alright. Anyways, I've got 5 on this. We're gonna want to get a bunch of factories on this. And in multiplayer, you're gonna want to have more factories, but since this is single player, I'm gonna pretty much have to carry the allies all by myself. So I'm gonna make sure I have a pretty sizable army in this game. But right now, I'm going to focus a good bit on planes, but not as much as you would in multiplayer. So we just finished mechanical and computing. We're not going to go down to computing machine yet because that's 463 days. What we're instead going to do is do construction 2. It'll take 202 days. It's a little ahead, but not that much. So it makes sense to do that instead of the mechanical computing. Let's keep playing until something interesting happens. We now have 50 command power. So what does that mean? It means we're going to send Tashi to Spam, but first, of course, we have to improve relations because right now they won't accept because they have such a bad opinion of us. Also, for those of you who know a little bit more about the game, maybe asking yourself, why hasn't he started sending convoys to Malaya yet? Well, 1, because I forgot, and 2, because I'm going to save up political power, so that way, as soon as I send them the convoys, I can instantly annex them instead of forgetting to annex them. So I'm just going to save the political power and annex them as soon as I can. Now, for you, those of you who are like, what is he talking about? Let me tell you how this works. So the United Kingdom has a bunch of dominions. We have India, Pakistan, Burma, which is now Myanmar. We have a bunch of different stuff in there. But it's all called the British Raj. We have Hong Kong, which isn't autonomous. We have Australia, we have New Zealand, we have Canada, we have South Africa. Now, they're not quite independent. They still have to follow what I say. And they're all dominions except for the Raj. They're a colony. So look at the managed subject menu. Now, so you have Australia, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, India, Malaya. So Malaya is an integrated puppet. They're almost seen as pretty much the United Kingdom, but they're not yet. So they're only one stage away from just straight up being annexed. And if I annex the Malaya, it's my own country now. They don't have their own government whatsoever. Their prime minister is Stanley Baldwin. Now you might be asking, why would he want to do that? He needs a bunch of convoys and has to send them convoys, and it costs him political power. Why would he do that? Resources. British Malaya has 445 rubber. That's insane. Dutch East Indies, the Dutch East Indies also have a bunch of rubber. So, but I don't own that. I just own British Malaya. So I'm gonna want to annex that as soon as I possibly can, and that's what I'm gonna do. But first, I need political power, and that's that. See you. I can explain. Well, looks like I can explain more. It's like the technology to research. I forgot what. Oh, I researched that carrier fighter. So now we're gonna research naval stuff. First thing I'm gonna want to research is sonar. Sonar is very important. It allows destroyers to detect submarines. Just finished home defense. And now we're going into prepare for the inevitable. Now we can send an attaché to Spain. Whenever we get them to 20, we can send an attaché to Spain. So I'm going to stop improving relations. Send them an attaché. They're going to say yes. They just said yes. Now I can change my economy law because my war support is a bunch, and I have a bunch of political power. I'm going to go all the way to partial mobilization. Now that I have partial mobilization, I have way more factories than I had before. But I had 15 here and maybe like 7. Now it's 15, 15, and 2. It's really, really good. The more mobilized you are, the better it is for your war economy. I'll see you in a little bit. Concentrated Industry 1. Now we're going to move to Concentrated Industry 2. And we're going to keep playing until something interesting happens. Just to research the better sonar, we're one step of the way to getting our destroyers that we need. Next up, I'm going to research the depth charge thrower. Research that, and I'll see you guys in a little bit before something interesting happens. Just prepared for the inevitable. What is the inevitable? We don't know yet. But anyways, we just got an extra 10% military factory construction speed, and 5% factory output. Those are huge. We need that stuff. But we've fallen all the way to 4% world tension, which is not good. It really sucks. So we're going to see if we have anything else to do. Oh yeah, we got industrial effort, we got all this stuff. So now we're going to go down. See you. Something interesting happens. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and start sending convoys to British Malaya. I'm also going to stop pausing the game whenever I talk to you. Start Lend-Lease. I'm going to send them convoys. Because convoys, I have a bunch of them, and it lowers their autonomy very, very fast. I'm going to send them 750. It lowers it by 525 points. And how many points is it till I annex them? It is 500 till they're annexed. So that's just above how many I need in order to annex them. I'm also going to let's see. Research more naval stuff. I'm going to research the submarine tubes. Now, I will talk to you when something interesting happens. Industrial effort has been completed. Now I'm going to take extra research slot because another research slot is really nice. It allows us to research more stuff. I'm not going to stop recording yet because I have 3 days. And I'm going to just keep on. So let's just talk. And, oh, hey, it researched. Now I actually have something to talk about. Ooh, I forget. You also get a boost. Now, do I want to waste the boost on this? Probably going to waste the boost on this because this takes like 200 days. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the boost on that. Probably shouldn't have done that. People are probably going to yell at me. Even with Cheeto dust on their face. getting close to 300 political power. That is a good thing. And I will see you guys whenever that happens. Just got submarine 2s, so now we're going to research something else for the Navy. And we're going to be set for a while, so what do I want to research? Let's see. Oh, improved catapult. I always forget to research that, but that's actually pretty important. I'm going to keep talking for 5 days, because that's when we get another research slot open. And we're going to research something with it. I don't know what, but we'll find out together. Let's see. Concentrated industry. Ooh. Let's do concentrated industry 3. Once again, there's probably a more efficient way to do what I'm doing. I'm sure of it. But, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing it. And of course, as soon as I get to 300 political power, Spain wants me to lose 25. Thank you, Spain. Very cool. But I need to keep that attaché. Without that attaché, I'll lose my economy law. I don't want to do that. So, we're just going to keep trucking it to 300. See you guys. Something interesting. Yay! I just got an extra research slot. So we're gonna. So we could do that. We could do something different. Let's not get the military factories right now. Not until 1938. We're not gonna take that focus to 1938. So instead, something else I want to go to reinforce the empire. Because I like having an empire. It's nice. It also gives me some buffs for later on. So we're gonna do. Alright. We're going to use this research slot. Now, those are all super overpowered now. I'm going to do computing machine. 297 days. Getting pretty close to 300 political power. So I'm just going to keep talking to you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like this format of video? Would you rather watch a 3-hour video, or would you rather watch little snippets? Whew, I sure am having fun making this video. Hearts Iron 4, genuinely, my favorite game I've ever played. We are now at 300. We can now lower the autonomy of British Malaya, which we're doing right now. And look, what even is British Malaya? You mean the United Kingdom? The United Kingdom's right here. What are you talking about? There was no such thing as British Malaya, ever. Now we own a bunch of rubber. Look at that, 400. Now it's not going to show up, but I have 400 rubber. It's insane, and it just gave me some oil. As you can see, my fuel just went up. That's going to go back down. Fuel in British Malaya isn't that much, but it's a good bit. But now I have some rubber. You're about to see that? Yep. Just jumped up a whole bunch. So I'll see you guys in a little. Okay, so a bunch of big things just happened. The United States Congress passes. All right, that's something. Improved airplane catapult. That's a good thing. So now we can start researching some better stuff. And the Chinese front is about to form, which means we're about to get the Japan-China war. Typically what happens in single-player games, the war in Spain ends around the same time as this war starts. So if this war ends, we're going to lose our attaché, but that's okay, because we can send another one over to China. That's exactly what we're going to do, because I'm big-brained. I know how to play these games. Now we have 8 days left on this, so I'm just going to keep recording, but I'm done researching. You know what? I'm going to research this too for our improved destroyers. Right now, we're going to research this. 8, 7, 6. Hindenburg. Oh my God, the Hindenburg incident. In real life, it was the Hindenburg disaster. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. So now we have everything we need for a good anti-submarine convoy escort destroyer. So I'm going to be done researching some of that naval stuff for a while. Now, I'm going to be researching some of that army stuff. First thing I'm going to research is not interwar artillery. It is to switch over to the superior firepower doctrine. In multiplayer games, you might want to do mass assault doctrine. The United States Army is going to be doing most of the pushing for you. This is really just to maintain your colonial holdings, but against the AI, it only makes sense to do superior firepower. After all, I do want to win. The United States is not going to help you out in single player. The AI is not that good. So I'm going to switch over to superior firepower, and I will talk to you guys when something interesting happens. Just got fuel refining. We're not going to research any of this industrial stuff for now because it is way ahead of time. I'm going to research asymmetric, however you say it, radar. Some of that good. Some of that good. Let's continue on playing. Talk to you guys when something interesting happens. That was fast. Something interesting just happened. Oh my! Something really interesting just happened. Okay, so more people joined the Chinese United Front. Whatever. Stanley Baldwin left. Mr. Chamberlain shall seek to form a government. Neville Chamberlain was very pro-appeasement Germany, so we're gonna lose some of that war support, but we're gonna get some good factory output. So it's kind of cool. Gonna put him in, and we're gonna reinforce the empire. Let's reinforce the empire. What's the work chat? Still 5. No, we're gonna do service overseas. Talk to you guys when something interesting happens. Oh my god, I just realized I forgot to upgrade my infantry divisions. You can point and laugh at me. It's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I'm going to start talking about infantry divisions and what's important. You're going to want your infantry divisions with combat with multiples of 10. I do 40 widths for pushing, 20 widths for defending, and 10 widths if I'm playing China. That's not important. What's really important is that you have 20 widths and 40 widths. By the end game, you're really only going to have 20 widths. So, and 10 widths, we'll get into that later. Right now, I'm going to tell you. Here's what you do for a 40 width combat division. You're going to want 14 infantry, and you're going to want 4 artillery units. Like this. Boom. Combat with 40, organization's 43. That's not good. But soft attack is 202. I mean, defense is great. This is all great. You might say, why is organization 43? It's an arbitrary number to me. Why is that good or bad, So, here's why we're going to say, I'm also going to put anti-air. I'm going to put, recon company. So now you might be asking yourself, what's with organization? Now it's at 40. Let me tell you what organization is. It's how long your troops can stay in the fight, basically. Typically, you want it at 50 and above. At least that's what I shoot for. I'm not sure what meta players say about it. What's the absolute best? But for me, it is organization 50 or above. The way you up your organization is either by having straight infantry, because infantry has organization, artillery, and support units take it down, or, better option, is to research better doctrines. Doctrines give you a bunch of boosts, but to me, the most important boost is upping your organization. So that's what you're going to do. But right now, this is pretty much what we're going to stick with for the rest of the game. We might add in some anti-tank, but this is pretty good division. I'll talk to you guys. Oh, I'm going to keep talking to you guys because I have something to show you. I'm going to build something to help defend my convoys, called a destroyer. Destroyers are primarily used for anti-submarine warfare. I'm going to put depth charges on it. Depth charge beats a submarine. I'm going to put a torpedo. Well, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to put a light battery on it just because it has to have a light battery. Does it affect range? No, it doesn't even affect range. I'm just going to keep light engine 1. And yeah. So why would I use early destroyers instead of 1936 destroyers? They're obviously a better destroyer, right? Wrong. Early destroyers, at least for anti-submarine warfare, are the best thing you can get. Why? Because they're easy to produce. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to make these. It's going to be great. And that's it. I can actually start building something useful. And something useful. I'm going to have these deploy over in Plymouth. Now, alright, we're going to wait for this. And then we're going to build a better destroyer for combat. Well, other than submarine combat. Alright, great. So now that we have this, pretty much we're set. Yeah, I'm going to search mech. stuff. All right. So here's where the naval stuff is going to become important, and it might get a little tricky. These I'm going to use in combat. Torpedoes are really, really good against capital ships. Take out their capital ships, you win. Ooh, I forgot to do something with my early destroyers. So this is pretty much optimal for your destroyers you're going to put in your main battle fleet. So that's going to be my destroyers for main battle fleet. Now, another thing for your early destroyers, you're going to want sonar. They don't have sonar on there. They're not going to be able to find out where the submarine is. Won't be able to fight them. So let's make sure they have sonar. So now they have sonar. It's going to be great. These I'm going to have deploy over in Portsmouth. And now let's talk about some of the real naval. So, spotting. What does it mean? It means you detected the enemy navy before they detected you. So that pretty much means that you have the upper hand. You get to fire the first shot. How do you get that? Aircraft facilities. Now, this is going to be what I use to detect enemy ships. I'm going to put as much of this stuff as I can. And whenever it's not an aircraft facility, it's going to be an anti-aircraft facility. And that's pretty much what I need. Production cost, if I remove that. Yeah, remove that. All I need him to do is spot. So yeah. Surface detection 55. Now I'm going to be able to get the first shots off. I want to produce those. I'm only going to produce like, let's produce 3 of them, and then maybe 2. Well, let's stick with 3. Now let's talk about the things that are really, really important. Cruisers. Cruisers are going to be your ships that, when it's not torpedoes, these are your capital ships that you're going to want. I use heavy cruisers as my replacement for battleships. That means I put medium batteries on here. I've heard, that, what's really good is light attack and all different stuff. I don't know. I just like to make these my battleships. And why wouldn't you just build a regular battleship, right? Well, the reason I wouldn't build a battleship is because they take way too long to produce. So I'm just going to build a heavy cruiser, which does pretty good. It doesn't do the battleship's job as good as a battleship does, but if I make a bunch of them, in the time I can only build like 1 battleship, they're just as effective. So that's what I'm going to do. A bunch of medium attack, which gives me 30 heavy attack, which is pretty good. And yeah, I'm pretty much golden. Make sure I have good fire control. Fire control 1. So get that. Alright, and that's going to be my heavy cruiser. And I mentioned before the London Naval Treaty. I cannot produce this yet because it's too overpowered or something. It's too good for the Naval Treaty. So I'm going to wait until World War II starts, or if the Italians start leaving, Japanese start leaving, then I can build that cruiser. I do believe that. Sure can. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and we're just going to talk to you until something interesting happens. But that's pretty much the setup of your Navy. Ooh, one more thing. I completely forgot about this too. You guys keep letting me forget stuff. Submarines. Submarines are crucial. They will destroy your enemy's economy. Japan. You want to destroy Japan's economy? All you do is build a bunch of submarines, put it around their nation. Now, as the United Kingdom, you don't really have to worry about the Pacific War. It's not that much. But the Americans definitely will. And if you're an American, you should build submarines. If you're the British, you build a little bit of submarines. I'm going to build a bunch of submarines. But this is my starting Navy production, and that's pretty much what you're going to want to do for your Navy, at least according to me. Remember, you're going to want to build your heavy cruisers just a little bit later, whenever you actually can. Don't ever worry about battleships. Don't build more carriers, especially if you're in the United Kingdom. You have plenty of carriers. You don't need any more. Talk to you guys when something interesting happens. Alright, just finished the focus, and I could take general rearmament, but I'm not going to just yet. Why? Well, because world tension degrades over time. And I don't want to do that, because if it degrades while I'm still taking the focus, it'll just cancel the focus. which is really, 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 really annoying. I'm just going to take another in focus unless some random thing happens and the world tension just spikes. Then I'm going to go for that focus. Right now, I'm going to go for encourage colonial elite. Really wish we had more world tension, that way I could generally rearm. I can't yet. Oh, while you guys were away, I also sent an attaché to China. That's going to delay the Japanese advance only slightly. But also, when the Spanish War ends, I don't have to worry. I don't have to be cooking my feet about what am I going to do about mobilization. So there you have it. Talk to you when something interesting. Something interesting just happened. Spanish Civil War ended. I'm going to cancel my focus. I'm going to go for general rearmament. This is perfect timing. It's really, really good timing for me. This is just pure luck. Now I can go for general rearmament, which is very, very nice. Let's get this bread. All right, we just finished general rearmament, so we are about to do another focus. What is that? It's air rearmament. So air rearmament is really good. So why is there? You can build fighter twos, which is really, really good. Fighter twos, really good. Most multiplayer servers only allow you to research fighter twos and nothing past that. So they're the best fighters in the game, besides you. But anyways, fighter twos are really good. You're gonna need those. If you can get them before your enemies, you'll have the advantage in the air war, potentially crippling them. So let's talk to you with something interesting. Also, I'm gonna start building military factories, getting close to 1930. We just got in some delay, which is pretty good. But right now, we're gonna research interwar artillery. The reason why I'm not going down my doctrine is because it takes 300 days to research one doctrine thing without 100 Army XP. Right now, I only have 76. I'm going to save up till 100, and then I'm going to research the next part of the doctrine. Talk to you when something interesting happens. Just researched the improved radar. Right now, not going to do any more of that. We're going to start researching Fighter 2. And with that boost, Fighter Command, we're going to start researching the Fighter 3. And then we're going to do the air production group, which makes it easier to produce fighters, which is really nice for us. Right now, I'm going to rush Fighter 2. I will talk to you when something interesting is about to occur. I now have 160 political power. I'm going to do the light aircraft designer. Now, why? Because air research speed is plus 15%, my boy. That's really, really good. It allows us to get the Spitfire. Remember, it was 500 something days. Now it's only 469 days. Nice. Also, that's a real big improvement, so that's really good. Talk to you when something interesting happens. Well, this isn't interesting, but it is the end of the video. I've taken you to 1938, and I've shown you how to do a pretty good job at the early game. I've shown you how to set up your factories. I've shown you how to do your research. I've shown you all this stuff. But this is merely just suggestions. Hearts of Iron 4, you're supposed to play it your way, and if you just play it according to some guy on the internet, any guy on the internet, you're not playing it with fun. You're just going to be bored out of your mind because it's supposed to be a strategy game. If you're not using your strategy, then it's not a strategy game. It's just a story game. And I play Hearts of Iron 4 for the strategy. This is mere suggestions. I could have used those suggestions a long time ago, and if I caught those suggestions a long time ago, I'd be way better at the game now. But I didn't. And I hope you guys can take these suggestions, take some of the good, maybe some of the stuff I said stupid, and you won't use it. But hopefully a lot of the things that I said were good and that you'll use them. That way we can have a really good player base, and we'll all have a better experience in multiplayer. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If this video gets 1 like, I'll make a part 2. And I'll show you 38 to, say, 40. And then if that video gets a like, we'll go from 40 to 43. That video gets a like, 43 to 45, or to the end of the war. But the reason why I'm saying, get a like and do another video is because these videos take forever to make. And I don't feel like sitting at my computer for 7 hours explaining what a civilian factory is. No offense to you guys, it takes a lot of time. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.